Welcome everyone back to the Window Pro podcast. This is part 2 of my first anniversary special edition. And I'm very grateful that you've joined me. Because back in part 1, we focused on people, service, confidence, pricing, and adding value. But part 2, we're going to use the opportunity, the lessons I've learned from all of my guests, to help us look forward in the industry. We're going to talk systems, technology, growth, tools, safety, mindset, all of those things that convince me, and this is my big belief, that trade is ready for growth. We're at a really good place. And I really believe, and I hope this came through in part 1 of this two-parter, but I really believe that the window cleaning industry is as well equipped as it has ever been to grow and thrive. But the truth is that equipment alone will not get us there. We've got some amazing gear, amazing pure water systems, amazing squeegees and other tools. I love the carbon fibre and the high mod window cleaning and trad poles that we now have in all sorts of funky colours. It's awesome. But that's not what's going to get us there. It's the mindset that we have. That's going to be the real difference. So I want to share 6 lessons that are basically the forward thinking, the forward looking approach to our industry. Lessons that I've learned from all of my guests through the past 12 months. So here's lesson 1. Don't be afraid of technology. It's not replacing good service, it's actually supporting it. And that came through when I was talking to Susie Bishop from Squeegee App, but as well as talking to Mitch Lloyd, who has a great little business in Adelaide, South Australia. I learned that using technology in the correct way can make your business far more streamlined and take a lot of pressure off us from getting it all happening. Because I guess there's some window cleaners, some of us are still relying on memory, still relying on paper charts and lists, and that can work until one day it doesn't, and that can create some stress. Because I've done it before I went into more technology. I missed follow-ups. The invoices were late. We forget to rebook. And so it was really important when I talked to Susie Bishop from Squeegee App. And her point was that the apps like hers or like Jobber or other technology, they're not just a diary. They're actually a business system. They're designed to schedule, they're designed to quote, they're designed to invoice. They're designed to automate parts of your business that really could do with some automation. They can help you with your accounting. I wouldn't be where I am. I don't know how I'd survive without a good quoting and invoicing software, a good scheduling software. It just makes things so much more streamlined. And Mitch Lloyd talked about using AI. You afraid of AI? Mitch talked about using AI in all sorts of areas, requesting reviews, recurring bookings and things of that way. Now, of course, some of us are afraid of things like AI. We worry about where it will lead us. But I remember back 30 years ago when the internet was starting to become mainstream, that people were concerned about what happens on the internet. Bad things happen on the internet. It's true, they do. But it doesn't change the fact that it's become a staple, a main part of our life today. We're using our smartphones on the internet. We can't exist without them. We need to view the technology as a similar fashion. This technology isn't to make us less personal in the way we interact with people. It's actually designed to free up time so that we can give of ourselves in a better way, so we can be more connected to the people that matter. And here's an interesting thing that I've come to the conclusion about, that technology should make us more human, not less. Think about that. It makes us more available to talk to people, to connect with our family. We're not tied up with admin and our family are missing out on our time. We're having time to rest instead of constantly working on admin because technology is helping us. So what would be a takeaway or a point that we could apply from this lesson, that technology can be our servant? Here's something to do over the next couple of weeks. Pick one admin problem that you have. Maybe it's sending reminders, maybe it's follow-up, maybe it's requesting Google reviews or chasing a late payment. Pick one and get that working well. Don't try and change the whole world. Just pick one thing in your system that you can do to make things better. So that's lesson 1 on forward growth. Now, lesson 2, I call it consistency still beats hype. And the guests that really highlighted that were Natasha Williams up in Yorkshire with Kiss My Glass window cleaning, Blaze Mason, Two Glass Gents, and Paul Hickmott in the UK. One thing that stood out when talking to them is that while so many people want a shortcut, most good businesses don't work that way. They work on repeatable basics. Like Natasha talked about just doing the boring basics every day. And they may seem boring, but they work. Whether it's going out, when she first started, she did her DoorDash, and while there, leaflets in people's letterboxes about her window cleaning business. The next day, the same, boring stuff, starting conversations with people, starting to develop a local reputation. Blaze talked about how, because of his large business, the need to be consistent with their systems so that things work smoothly. So if things go wrong, a certain person looks after that and things are acted on. The thing is that there's so much hype about the industry, and many of us lament the TikTok generation that does this hype approach to the business on how they do door knocking and get this many jobs and so forth. But they often go down in a blaze of fire that they just fizzle out. Whereas those that stay long term are the ones that have consistency, because consistency compounds. It causes the thing to grow. So the key line takeaway from this lesson for me is you don't need a magic trick. Just do the basics right every day, and that will help the business to grow. So I've learnt a long time ago, call back. People leave a message, call back quickly. Don't wait for a long time. Get the quote into their hands. Follow up on the quote. After you've done the job and they're really loving what you've done, ask for a review. Maybe even rebook the customer for 3 months or 6 months down the track. They're all things that will help you to maintain consistency. Now, lesson 3 in this episode is that growth needs structure, not just more work. And I'm going to come back to Blaze's business in Michigan. And it came out too with talking to Mitch and Mark in Melbourne. So Blaze's story from a 12-year-old to 20 years later, now staff of 31. He's got large crews, he's got busy seasons, but he has a structure for the season. So summertime, they pump the window cleaning services. Wintertime, they're doing snow plowing or ice dam breaking. Things that I have no idea about here in Australia, but they are the systems that he has to keep the business going. They have staff management. There's boundaries in Blaze's business on who contacts who and how he deals with customers who are narky. And a great story there in his episode of a narky customer who didn't want his Blaze's staff to use Spanish in the house and how Blaze handled that, how he set the boundary for the benefit of his staff. You see, that's all part of structure that we need, and as we grow, that's important so that there's not the chaos. But even us solo operators, we need to have a system in place so that we have consistency. And so the key takeaway line from this lesson is that growth isn't just getting more work. Growth requires structure in our routine. Like, I don't want 31 staff, but I still need a booking system. I still need a follow-up system. I still need a system where when people call that I know what questions to ask. I still need a system where I reach out to clients to rebook for certain seasons. I need to have a system for payment and setting boundaries, even though it's just a one-man show. So if you're a one-man show, you still need the structure and the systems that will help grow, and it will take away growth in so many different areas, not just in client numbers, job numbers, but in other areas of life as well. Now, lesson 4, I call it tools matter, but thinking matters more. And when I think about the different guests through the year that discussed tools, like there was Brock Tawning from Window Cleaning World, who window cleaned for a few years and then got into the supply side. Byron Guest, who's an innovator, loves tweaking and tinkering with his tools to make them more efficient. Nathan Ursak has got some amazing soft washing and window cleaning skids to go on the back of trucks so that he's now building and marketing. John O'Bull is doing specialty tools. Tom Lute went into pole design and manufacture. And of course, we know Perry Tate with his future of cleaning tools. So many different people who are focused on tools. And let's face it, we love talking about tools as window cleaners because they're the mainstay of our business. But as I came to appreciate in my discussions with these different guests, tools are not magic things, not magic toys. There was so much that came out through this last 12 months in the episodes of challenging our fixed thinking about brand loyalty. Like, I'm an Etere man, or I'm a Sorbo man, or I'm an Unger man. You know, I only will buy from windowcleaner.com, or I only will buy from someone else. You know, we need to learn as window cleaners some of the deeper things of tools. You know, I think we need to learn how water-fed poles are made. What's the difference in the carbon composition, the high mod compared to the 3K carbon pot, whatever it might be. Learn that, because that will help us want to protect our tools and use the best tools for the best job. I came to appreciate ones like Jono, who designed specialty tools to solve specialty problems. I love Jono's louver kit for cleaning glass louvers, which are so prominent here in Australia. It's made an efficiency level that I wasn't expecting to achieve. See, that's what we're learning, to use the right tool for the right job. You know, Byron keeps modifying tools to suit himself. The key lesson here is not just to have the tools, not to be stuck on one particular brand, but learn different tools so that at different styles of job, you'll have the right tool for that job, not just a tool for a job. It is so important. And we don't want to just buy tools because of online hype or because someone's demonstrating it on social media. You know, a serious operator doesn't just chase tools. He learns how to think through the job and use the right tool for the right job. So before we buy gear, it's really important to think, what problem will this new tool solve? Will it save time? Will it improve safety? Will it improve the quality of my work? Do I have the skill to use that tool properly? You know, we may go out and buy the best water-fed pole, but and the greatest brush according to some social media hype, but we've never even actually learnt the basic skills of water-fed pole cleaning, pure water cleaning. You know, we need to learn those things first. Do I actually need the tool now, or is hype got me? You know, sometimes we, like here in Australia at the end of the financial year, which is June, month of June, there are so many ads for business to upgrade your car, upgrade your tools, get it in before the end of the tax year. So there's the risk that we'll just run off and buy something that we're not really needing right now, and maybe the hype has got us. So think about that with tools, and I really found it interesting talking to those innovators and those ones who can't think differently about tools. I can't design that. I can use things, but I don't have the brain like some of these guests of mine had. It was fascinating to talk to them. I'm really grateful that they joined me to talk about that aspect of our business. Now, we can't talk about lessons without talking about a very important one, and that is safety. Safety is part of professionalism. So, fascinating discussion with Steve Davies in Perth about his ladder accident and how a moment of complacency cost him, and now he's out of the industry. Rock Tawning had the same hard lesson from falls from ladders. We've got a big discussion in the UK on poles being insulated more than just the lower section, the bottom section. When we hear about people like Jason Knight and others who've been electrocuted through their poles. So even with the safety being improved, we have to be still focused on safety, where we put a ladder, how we lock a ladder, how we use our pole, where the pole is. And what I learned from talking to these guests was that at times, because we're trying to maximize the money we're making, there's the risk that we'll just do this job quickly rather than doing it safely. See, knowing what not to do is part of being professional. And I've lost count of the number of jobs I thought, I'm not quoting on this job because there isn't a safe way to get a ladder up onto that roof to clean that glass. And that roof doesn't look safe for me to walk across. So a professional does not just protect the customer's property. He protects his own body. He protects his family. He protects his future. So it's really important that we learn to know our limits. So we use the right gear. Yes, it will cost us more. It may take us longer, but be prepared to take our time with those jobs, but be prepared also to walk away from unsafe jobs. And this is where when we connect with our fellow window cleaner, our colleague, not our competitor, it may be that they are the ones that have the equipment to get that job. So building a referral network is so important. We don't want pride to cause us to make dangerous decisions. And that leads us to the final lesson of this anniversary special episode, that the future of the window cleaning industry belongs to learners who have an abundance mentality. And all of my guests, Perry, Susie, Mitch, Natasha, Blaze, Jessica, Samantha, Sarah, all of my guests, every one of them shared openly their thoughts on the industry. There was nothing where they kept the cards close to the chest. They were happy to share. And that's because the future belongs to learners. It doesn't belong to know-it-alls. People who are stuck in the, I've done it my way all this time. I've always done it that way. That the future doesn't belong to them. We need to hang on to the fundamentals, the basics that we need to do, the boring basics, but being open, staying open to improving what we do, learning from other window cleaners, learning from suppliers, us oldies, us old guys, learning from the young fellas. I learned a lot from Mitch. He's only in his early 20s. Learning from them, learning from experienced operators, from, the new technologies that are coming out. If we have an abundance mentality, we're prepared to refer that job to someone else. There's plenty of work for everybody. We share in the industry will thrive, and we'll feel better about the work we do. You see, encouraging other window cleaners doesn't weaken your business. It actually raises the standard of the business, and that's so important. So the real difference going forward for our industry will not be just the tools in our hands. It'll be the mindset that we bring to the work at hand. So in conclusion, what's one thing that you can take from these 2 episodes, these 12 lessons that I've learnt over the last 12 months? Well, pick one. Pick one lesson and act on it this week. Maybe you need to raise the prices of those couple of clients you've been holding off on, or you're setting a new boundary on how you interact with your clients, or maybe you're putting a new system in place. You're asking for a review. You're putting into practice the dentist close. You contacted another window cleaner and checked in on how they were doing, another solo operator. Well, what's one thing that you can do that will improve things? Don't try to change everything at once. Just take the next honest step toward building a better business. So if the Window Pro podcast has helped you over the past year, I'd really appreciate it if you became one of the Spotify followers, or you subscribed on my YouTube channel, Duncan the Window Pro. If you listen to this through Substack, that you subscribed either free or with a paid subscription. But maybe even better than that, share the episode with a fellow window cleaner who you think might need some encouragement. So after 12 months of talking to people and listening to people, let me say this again, something I really believe. I believe that the window cleaning industry is as well equipped as it has ever been to grow and thrive. We've got better tools, better software, better access to training. We can connect better. We have better ways to market and to run our business. But the difference will be what we're thinking. Do we have a growth mindset? Do we have an abundance mentality, a willingness to keep learning and growing, lifting the standard together, to avoid all the negative trolls on Facebook forums, but to try to look for a positive? And so there's some of the things that I've learned from the guests I've talked to. I'm looking forward to the guests from year 2 to bring the same growth mentality to the table. So thank you so much for listening. I'm Duncan McRae. This has been a great time to be together on this Window Pro podcast. I'll see you in the next episode, which may be in a few weeks down the track, because McRae's Window Cleaning in Brisbane, Australia, I've sold most of, if not all of the business. By next Monday, I'll have it sold. And I'm moving south, 8 hours drive by car to Newcastle, New South Wales, where I'm going to re-establish McRae's Window Cleaning in a new lifestyle and new format. So it may be a few weeks until I get the next podcast up and running. But in the meantime, enjoy this one, and we'll talk to you soon. All the best with your window cleaning business journey.